Hello, test, test, nyan, nyan. Oh, goodness. Good evening, Nyans, and welcome to Wildcard Wednesday. Today, we're going to play a game called Moonflower. But first, I am going to Sorry, I got an email about some Graha merch. Anyway, first I need to make a tweet. Um, hmm. I have to copy paste from my super secret Discord. I would like to make an announcement. I also have, you've seen the art and writing Twitter, it's up on there, but I finished a fan fiction again about Final Fantasy XIV. It has my character Roga and Thancred and Yestola and Graha in it. So if you're into fan fiction, go ahead and give it a read. It's great. I think it's great, but I'm the one who wrote it, so I think it's required to think that. It's not like, no, I'm not gonna talk myself down. Screw that. I was gonna say, like, it's not my best work or my longest work, or it's not like, you know, super interesting or entertaining, but like, no, it's good. It's like a nice little sweet story, man. It's good. I have to learn to not be negative. There's these voices inside my, I'm not, okay, it's gonna sound crazy when I say that. There's these voices inside my head that are very negative all the time, telling me that I can't do things or that it's not worth it, and I need to stop listening to them because they can't shut up. I can't make them go away so easily. But, you know, I have the choice whether or not to, like, believe it, you know? So I'm going to try not to believe it. Anyway, I have to put some hashtags on here. Today we are joined by a special guest, my elbow brace. My elbow has been hurting recently, so we got an elbow brace for it. I hope that it works. Heals me. I hope this isn't like tendonitis or something really bad. I hope it's just like a cramped, like a really, really bad cramped elbow or something that'll go away in a couple days. This is like day number 3 of elbow pain that we're on. I've been keeping track, so if it goes past a week, I'm gonna get very concerned. um, okay. Okay, I tweeted, oh, Corgi. Hello, I'm glad you're streaming. I need a friendly voice to listen to. Of course, you're amazing in all your endeavors. Oh, thank you, Nyan. That's so nice. Oh, thank you, Corgi. You're very, very nice. You're amazing too, Corgi, in everything you do. Oh, right. Now might be a good time to make the announcement too that
Meow.
oh, sorry, that was the game. That wasn't me that time. Are you surprised it wasn't me this time? Okay. I'm gonna put the volume around here. I don't feel it right now, but I'm sure I will. Yeah. Welcome to Moonflower. Do not worry, it took me a second to realize he's not holding a dildo too. He's not holding it, he's holding a potion bottle. It's just his hand. That's like a prosthetic limb too, so it makes it... Yeah, he's not holding a dildo. Don't worry, it's a potion bottle. It took me a second. It's like a potion. I think that's the one with the moonflower in it. I think he's looking at the moon. Also, the protagonist of this game is a cat boy. I'm living my best life. I started this game, when did I started it a while ago. I only played it for like half an hour for a biscuit on my YouTube channel, the 30-minute videos that I do. So you can check out the first part there. We didn't get that far. Like, all we did... Yeah, we were basically invited to this, like, castle ball, or a castle party thingy. And we're going there now. My character is kind of like an alchemist, I think. He makes, like, potions and stuff. We talked to the princess. The princess is the one who was like, come on, you have to come. Please come to the party. It'll be fine. I'll keep the other royal people from, you know, trying to pet you, because apparently being a cat boy is very rare in this universe. So, let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet, because my voice is going to be in a range today. It's going to be going from really low to really high, and also from soft to loud, so it should be a bit on the quiet side. Okay. Oh, it got a little louder. Yep, buddy. I'm gonna keep it down there. Okay, so we are at the castle, as you can see, and we're looking for the princess. The protagonist's name is Skylar. I am Skylar. Skylar is just gonna be read in my normal voice. I'll do voices for everyone else, but it's just, he has a lot of lines, so I'm gonna use my normal voice. Now, where could this troublesome princess be? Did I break the game? I clicked. Well, this doesn't bode well. Oh, never mind. I guess I clicked in the wrong place. As much as the felinus, the cat boy, complained about being convinced to attend, most of his bluster was merely for show. He would have been in attendance either way, just much less obviously. With his grand plan to protect his princess laid to ruin, he couldn't help but smile to himself as he scanned the crowd. If she did not have her unwavering sense of adventure and independence, he would have been sorely disappointed. Both their mothers were much the same, passionate, powerful women who possessed the strength and willpower to break through any barrier presented before them. Oh yeah, by the way, feline people live for like multiple hundreds of years, apparently. They have very long lifetimes, so they were... Skylar was just talking about his mom. His own was a driving force, a zeppelin with no brakes, and Queen Vera was simply similarly a fierce and headstrong individual. Neither had been seen in quite some time. Unlike his mother, however, Queen Vera's fate was much more in the dark. He could only pray that she was safe. Oh yeah, and sometimes there's no periods or commas at the end of things. I think whoever wrote the lines for this is British too. We saw some British spelling earlier, so I think also in British English the need for punctuation is a little different. Maybe, I think, I'm not sure. I know that the punctuation is a little different in some cases. But anyway, how she would have loved this festival to see her little girl fulfill such a momentous role with such unshakable determination. He's talking about the queen, not his own mom. After what felt like an eternity, even to him, his eyes finally landed on the woman he was searching for. A figure of absolute confidence, Olivia descended the main staircase, the crowd parting to watch her in awe. There she is, the princess. Oh, her clothes didn't change. I think. An adoration that would ruin anyone else. Several nobles gingerly stepped into her path, all wanting to be the first to greet her. Each one she politely thanked and excused herself from. She was looking for her escort and could not keep him waiting a moment longer. Olivia. Skylar shook his head, an exasperated expression settling over his features. She just has to stir the nobles, doesn't she? Luckily for him, or perhaps unluckily, he could never quite decide. His keen sense allowed him to hear each and every word. Shifting from his spot of mild safety, he caught the eyes of the princess across the room, her face lighting up in recognition. Pushing aside the shocked nobles, the princess made a beeline for her favorite official. Why, there you are! I've been looking all over for you! Have you now? You seemed quite happy conversing with the, well, whoever that was in the bird's nest. Ugh, I have to move my fan. It's hot. It's hot in here. Olivia made a great effort not to break into giggles at his fashion critique. And the birds? Wait. Fashion critique? He's critiquing what she's wearing? She looks like a pirate? Like what? Is that what he's saying? Not sure. It's quite awful, isn't it? Oh, and the birds, the hair of one of the nobles, I think. Sorry, I kind of skimmed that line. I wasn't paying that much attention to that one line. Indeed, but what would a festival be without questionable style choices? Shall we make our rounds? The princess linked her arm around Skylar's, her hand lightly brushing against the pristine ivory of his exposed limb. Her fascination with that arm is nothing if not baffling. She does not even realize her actions. Do we have to? We do! Skylar groaned as he scanned the area. Very well, if we must. Come, it'll be over before you know it. Doubtful. He muttered this under his breath, but the slight tilt of her lips told him she heard him quite well. The pair venture out into the crowd, Olivia maneuvering with an effortless step, her experience and charm leading their way. Dozens of noble families, servants, and prolific members of the town flocked to the opening ceremonies, each hoping for a private audience with the royal family. 1, 2, 3. Hour after hour passed as Olivia... Oh, those were hours. Hour after hour passed as Olivia and Skylar floated between attendees, exchanging small talk and pleasantries, each encounter more exhausting than the last. Most elected to ignore Skylar, their focus on the charismatic princess instead, something he was more than happy to allow. Others made attempts at polite small talk, exchanging a few words with the High Alchemist before running out of topics to fake interest in. Finally, the pair were left with 2 groups. The town mayor with him, an unknown elven scholar, and the family of one of the ministers. Mayor Rutherford was one of the few aristocrats who Skylar actually liked. He was a humble man, a merchant, and a farmer by trade. His family had a long history of friendly relations with the Fey nations, making it a secret mission of theirs to care for the land in ways that benefited the town and the Fey who lived secretly among the fields and forests. Oh, it's just... What? Is this the shadow? It's just a shadow? Delightful start to... Oh, sorry. Delightful start to the celebrations, Your Highness. You even managed to get this grouch to attend. The gruff town leader chuckled, a gentle elbow digging into Skylar's side. Yes, gloat all you want. I would like to see you attempt to say no to royalty. Ha! Only you would try and resist the princess, my friend. And he did try, let me assure you. I shall go and greet the minister before it's time for our final stop. I'll leave you two to chat. I'm sure you have much to discuss. Skylar nodded in agreement. A small mercy to avoid that. The mayor and Skylar both bowed to the young royal as she separated from the group to attend to her other greeting. Say, Skylar. Skylar glanced at the man. Who is this young chap, anyway? Eh? Who? Skylar followed the mayor's eyesight to the elven scholar that was standing with their group. His eyes went around the ballroom to take in the sights and made no move to react to the mayor's question. He doesn't know? He kind of looks like Sir Aymeric. Y'all know Sir Aymeric? You're about to know. You're gonna learn today. Sir Aymeric is from Final Fantasy 14. He's in, why is he so perfect? Good. Yes, good, good, nice. There's a Dakimakura, hell yeah. Sir Aymeric is in fact invited to the polyamorous relationship that I have going with not only the Scions, but it extends to Sir Aymeric as well. And all the other rulers. Well, he's just different from the other rulers, you know? I feel like he's different from all the other country leaders in Final Fantasy XIV. I think because he, like, is the most willing to go with you on an adventure. Because he doesn't like desk work. He doesn't want to do his job. He wants to go on adventures. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Anyway, it kind of looks like, kind of reminds me of Sir Aymeric just a little bit. He doesn't know? I'm afraid I do not know. I was assuming he was connected to you. Me? Why would I have such a connection? I've never met the man in my life. Maybe because you've been standing together chatting. The two men stared at each other in disbelief before shaking their heads and turning their attention to the young stranger. Ah, look at him. He's cute. Short raven hair, a deep blue overcoat balanced over his shoulders, jade earrings dangling from his pointed elven ears. That's a weird way to spell elven, isn't it? His eyes were a hypnotic dual color, the kind of color that appeared to shift in hue as he gazed around the room in wonder. Sometimes an azure blue, sometimes a vibrant purple. It was like watching a petal on the wind, swaying and flipping in the breeze. The I'm never gonna pronounce this right. Felinus found himself entranced by the way they shifted. He had never seen eyes of such a fascinating color before. Well, 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 has someone caught the eyes of the elusive Lord Nika Skylar? The alchemist snapped his focus away from the elven stranger, a look of near horror on his face. Whatever do you mean? I was merely... Skylar could feel his stomach sink as he felt the chubby hands close themselves firmly around his tail, an excited shriek piercing his sensitive ears. Oh no. Yeah! That was the shriek. I did the shriek. No, moon above, please not her, anyone but her. Mr. Skylar, my darling kitty! Lady Ogreen. Oh yeah, I remember. He hates Lady Ogreen. Yeah, we talked about this before. Skylar wanted nothing more than for the floor to open and swallow him whole, anything but being forced to endure that woman, whose hands would only tighten if he made an attempt to move or escape her grasp in any way. Mayor and Skylar, ... Rutherford quickly bowed and excused himself, mumbling something about forgetting to snuff the fire crystal on the stove. Wait! Ah! Ah! Cute! You absolute coward, come back here! Look at him, he's a little kitten! He's like a little chibi, so cute! Look at his little nose! Oh, cute! Sorry, it's very cute. Lady Ogreen, please restrain yourself. I just spat on my computer. The woman rubbed her face against the distressed Felinus's disheveled tail. Princess. He was completely and absolutely stuck. Experience told him Lady Ogreen would not let go on her own, and he could not simply shout for the princess to help him. My lady, your hat is simply wonderful. Wherever did you get it? While a simple distraction, it was enough for Skylar to remove his tail from the greedy hands of the noblewoman and retreat to an unoccupied corner of the ballroom. Timely intervention. I must make an effort to thank him later. The elven stranger had not said a word the entirety of the time they had been in each other's presence. He couldn't help but wonder why he had chosen that moment to finally speak up. Skylar let out a heavy sigh as he leant against a nearby wall, an exhaustion overcoming him that was unique to the slow release of a tense anxiety that gripped his entire being. With any luck, Lady Ogreen had been truly distracted, and he could enjoy a moment of safety from the crowd. The favor you owe me will be a great one. I was promised no tail touches. My sincerest apologies, good sir. Oh, it's him. Exclamation point. Ripped from his rest, the voice of a man reached him. It's him. Then where's... The stranger smiled at his surprise. You are quite safe, I assure you. A young knight came to check on the disturbance and reported the situation to Her Highness, the princess. I expect her reaction will be quick and she will join you once more shortly. The man stepped closer, concern filling his colored gaze. But putting that aside, are you all right? No, but that's not an answer one can freely give. I am significantly better than sorry, let me try again. I am significantly better the further away from that woman I am. Forgive my candidness, that was rude. Your intervention was most timely. You have my sincere thanks. Philinus bowed deeply to his elven protector, who merely smiled and shook his head. Nika Schuyler, High Alchemist of Ashmire. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh wait, that was him. He was introducing himself. I thought, okay, sorry. Nika Schuyler, Alchemist of Ashmire. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. The taller male bowed in return, but did not offer a name. Have you attended the Moon Fair? I was about to say Moonfire. Where's Moonfire from? Moonfire Fair. Moonfire Festival. Moonflower. Moonfire. I feel like that's something from somewhere, but I just can't remember. Have you attended the Moon Fair before? To anyone else, this question would be preposterous, but an elven life was just as lengthy as a Philinus, both fae of different shapes. Oh, right, because the Moon Fair only happens once, like every 100 years or so. So to anyone else, it would be crazy to ask that, but because elves live as long as catboys here. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Are you, what is he about to say? It's just wonderful, from the fascinating fashion to the way these people interact with each other and the decorations. I've never seen such a display of beauty. Forgive me for almost reading it as booty. The food and drink is plentiful and words are traded as freely as water traveling down a stream. 1,000 questions rushed through Schuyler's mind at the sight of this man's eyes glistening as he watched the ballroom in amazement. It certainly is a spectacle. Though it has made me wonder, what's it all for? Oh wait, the guy, sorry. The name, I wish the names were different colors so I could tell when it changes. Because they both start with S. So, though it has made me wonder, what's it all for? What? Schuyler stared at the man dumbfounded. He was truly and utterly lost for words. What's it for? Yes, I have gleaned this is the first of 7 nights of a celebration. I am yet to fully grasp what purpose it serves, however. The stranger tilted his head in confusion, looking to Schuyler for his answers before once again returning to his people watching. What a fascinating man. Schuyler had never met someone who captured his interest so organically. Realistically, he had merely existed in front of him. He had not done or said anything particularly interesting, and yet Schuyler found he struggled to look away from him. Perhaps it boiled down to the connection between fae. All had some latent connection to each other through the natural magics they shared. This felt different, though. He felt he had met this person before. Ooh, our first choice! Alright, chat, what do you think? Vote now. Ask his name. Ask him to dance. What do we think? His outfit kind of looks like a machinist, doesn't it? Ask his name, but he didn't offer it before. What if it's a sore subject? Anybody else? We have one for name. No? Alright, we're gonna ask his name, I guess. It feels wrong. Feels really wrong. Feels wrong, but I have to. I'm the one who asked chat, and my dad said name. What if we never get the chance to dance with him again? What if this is our only chance? Oh, duh. What? ODH. Do dance. Oh, duh. What were you trying to say? Okay? D and H are not very close to K, though. Oh, okay. Dance time. Skylar shifted his position nervously. I can't help but notice you seem interested in the dancing. The man glanced back at him, his eyes alight. See, I told you. Very much so. They move with such rhythm, and each knows exactly what the other is doing. They move like they're the only important thing in the world. Would you like to give it a try? What am I thinking? Nika! Your princess has arrived, it seems. The elf bowed deeply to the pair, and in the time it took for them to register the action, he had disappeared like morning mist on the wind. No! He's gone! Oh well. Oh, he left. Olivia! You're cock-blocking me! Unfortunately. Who was that? I do not recall ever seeing him before. Not at any royal functions or even around the city. I'm sure there's many people Her Royal Highness has never met nor seen. I do not know, however. He made a very clear point to not offer his name to me. He wouldn't tell you? Skylar shook his head. He found himself both flustered and vexed by the encounter. Who exactly was he? So preoccupied with the mysterious stranger, the Felinus failed to see the wicked smirk pass over the princess's face, a gentle hand tapping him on the forehead. Hmm? What are you doing? Hmm? Me? No, the garden gnome over there. Of course you. With a sweep of his arm, he removed the intruding hand, folding his arms across his chest in protest, an accusatory eyebrow raised. I've never seen you so distracted. I thought perhaps you'd fallen ill. Facetious as usual, my princess. Say what you mean, princess. Olivia crept closer to him, a mixture of both excitement and slight worry on her face. I mean exactly that, Nika. I've never seen you so distracted by someone before. Did something happen with that man? Nothing. Nothing happened whatsoever. Olivia's face changed again, and this time he could not fail to see her wicked grin, even if he had wanted to. Did you want it to? She raised her eyebrows suggestively, her entire demeanor ready to receive the ultimate gossip. Olivia! Did I? He totally did. I wanted it to happen, and if I am the protagonist, then yes, I did. The princess giggled, her eyes twinkling with amusement and mischief. She leaned forward just an inch, slowly, like a cat teasing a mouse. You deny nothing! Never mind any of that. Skylar waved his hand dismissively, his heart hammering away in his chest at the prospect of being caught. Being caught? Nothing even happened. I'd been handled and leered at quite enough tonight. Are we done? Her playful grin gave way to one of remorse. Please, forgive me. I did not expect such an extreme reaction from Lady Ogreen. Even Minister Siebert was disgusted by the report. I'm sure he found it very entertaining. He believed it? I don't think he wanted to, but the knight who delivered the report seemed to have good standing, so he accepted it with ease. Knight Marshal Siddle's youngest son Wesley, I believe, if what our mysterious stranger said is to be believed. Lord Siddell? She gasped as the name registered in her mind. I'm confused. Oh, this is the young knight that we met before when I did the biscuit. There was a young knight. He was very cute. He seems like a fine lad, around your age, I would wager. I was unaware he had another son until I met him earlier when you sent him to collect me. Yeah, so Lord Siddell's son is the cute knight. I sent the Knight Marshal's son on a collection errand? Indeed you did, Princess. I assure you, he was most amiable to provide assistance to you. Quite a pleasant young man, actually. Olivia walked in several circles around her elder companion, her face wrinkled in thought. What troubles you, Princess? Never mind. How about I grant you another favor for my slip-up, a total of 2. So she has been thinking of how to make up for her failed promise. Vera, your child is as troublesome as ever. I'll settle for a dance instead. I certainly can't have you owing me twice. That is far too much power for a single person. Olivia paused as if to ponder the offer for a moment. A dance will suffice. Skylar scoffed in response to her tone. It will suffice? The girl in front of him let out a short giggle, light and airy. You know it is truly an honor to be accompanied by you on or off the dance floor. Yes, it truly is. Skylar tipped his hat downward and offered his hand to the princess. We have one more person to check in with, then we can dance to our heart's content. ... Don't give me that look. I cannot have my tail grabbed any more today, my lady, for fear it would come straight off. This person would never be so callous. So you say. I do, yes. We are to meet the most important and certainly most noble man we both have the pleasure of knowing. Skylar sighed. He already knew exactly who Olivia was alluding to. The king. Oh. Olivia nodded. Yes, father wanted to speak to us both before the ceremonies begin. Must he? I mean no disrespect, of course. However, I'd hate to waste his time. My potions are of no concern to him and quite simply misunderstood. And quite simply understood. As the only one among us who has actually attended a moon fair before and one of his esteemed subjects, I'm sure there's much he wishes to speak with you about. Olivia held her hand out and beckoned for the Felinus to join her. Come along, Skylar. Now should be a good time for him to steal away. Is the king also going to be a shadow? The pair maneuvered. See, this is what I mean. Maneuvered? Maneuvered. Anyway, through the crowd, Olivia stopping every so often to curtsy to people who called out her name. For one so young, she has an exemplary grasp of statecraft. As expected, the king wasn't hard to spot, and Skylar's gaze locked onto him after only a moment. One would think he'd always have a crowd surrounding him, but it was fascinating to see the opposite effect. People were standing a distance away, cautiously awaiting the king's invitation. Had they not been summoned, they could only look on in awe and wonder. For one who exhibits such intense buffoonery... What? Apparently the king exhibits intense buffoonery. Eamon? Eamon? Emin? How do you say this name? Let's look it up. Oh, my beautiful Saray Marik. Let's see. Eamon? Apparently Aemon? Aemon.
iPronouncenames.com.
Aemon. It's Aemon. I know that was probably really hard to hear, but they said Aemon. So you're incorrect, Dad. Google says you're wrong. I'm gonna go with Aemon. It was hard to hear because the game music is really loud. So, sorry, but I can't change it. I mean, I could, but then I'd have to change other things, and it's already at a good volume for now, so... Aemon, I think, truly is a fascinating and charismatic monarch. King Aemon Dunn, husband to Queen Vera Leth and father to Princess Olivia Leth. Oh, so their last names don't change. That's interesting. The reason for differing the reasons for differing surnames was no mystery. The royal line belonged and stayed with the female bloodline. Queen Vera refused to relinquish the name of her ancestor. Okay. King Aemon was the type of noble who was raised to be king. He was presented as one of the approved suitors for the then Princess Vera to choose from. The court was keen to once more have a king in place for the future, or at the very least, someone far easier to control than the fiery royal Vera. He relished in the attention, but did little in terms of policy and governance. Such a weird word. Most of that fell to his elite ministers. Royalty is truly exhausting. An opinion he shared with the royal advisor, the ever-suffering position given to his own predecessor, a role which Skylar was certain he would never take, no matter how much the queen begged should he ever decide to move on from High Alchemist himself. Olivia waved her hand in the air, then quickly pulled it back to her side once she realized her actions. Very ladylike. She cleared her throat, fixing a coy smile on her face. The noise drew the king's attention, a look of annoyance at being interrupted so brusquely clear on his face, a look which turned to joy as he laid eyes on his precious daughter. The monarch muttered a few words to his current company, two elder males, before both nodded and backed away from the esteemed man. He is a shadow. Okay, so I guess only the important characters have full-on portraits. That's interesting. If they... Like, the shadow is pretty detailed. I feel like they must have drawn some kind of picture for it, but whatever. King Aemon wasted no time making his way towards his daughter, embracing her in a dramatic twirl before lightly nodding his head towards the High Alchemist. "Father, please!" The girl giggled as her father lowered her once more. Oh god. "Olivia, my gorgeous love, where is your gown?" Olivia shook her head. "Tonight is a mere introduction to the festivities. I wanted to save it for the main event." Oh, okay, so she does have a different change of clothes. "Save it, my dear. Wear a new one each night. This is our moment to shine to the whole world." Skylar stood as far back from the pair as he dared without seeming rude. For all his flaws, he is a doting father, if overly so. Finally, the king turned his attention to the Felinus. "High Alchemist, I was not made aware of your attendance tonight. I was under the distinct impression you had elected not to participate." Olivia made to answer, but the king affectionately petted her hand to silence her. He wanted his answer directly from the man he had questioned. He knows exactly what has happened. I can almost guarantee he forbid Olivia from extending the invitation, and she did so anyway. "That was indeed my original plan, your most esteemed majesty." Skylar bowed deeply, a formal and posture-perfect action. I feel like there should be a hyphen between that, allowing the king to grunt in acknowledgement before rising once more. Olivia beside him wore a slight frown at the two men. Your indomitable heir, however, had a different plan. Pray forgive the lack of update of the guest list. Princess Olivia is quite impossible to decline. While annoyed at being talked into attending this garish event, he was simultaneously exceedingly proud of the competent young ruler Olivia was growing into. Indomitable was very much the correct word to describe her. She always managed to get others to see her point of view, to try whatever it was she suggested. Most were more than happy to follow her, but some others rejected the idea of such a strength of character. The servants adored her kindness and lamented her free spirit. "Yes, she is quite formidable indeed." "I'm glad you agree." The king snapped his attention back to his daughter. "But don't think that being Moonseer means you aren't my precious baby anymore." He reached out and kneaded Olivia's cheeks. The woman scrambled to escape his tight grasp. "Father, please, you're embarrassing me." It was always funny to Skylar how Aemon made a show of age. Aemon tried his hardest to appear more worldly and cultured than the alchemist, more regal, more knowledgeable, more grown up, in the same breath refusing to allow Olivia the same chance to grow and mature. The ageless appearance of the Fae often threatened monarchs in particular, faced with one who had seen before them and would see after them, all without a single sign of the passing time. Though years certainly passed by, only one of the pair saw wrinkles creased into their skin. "I'm glad that you have taken the time to come and speak to me, Olivia. I take it the festivities are to your liking?" "Everything is simply wonderful. You've done an incredible job, Father. I've never seen the palace or town so lively or so heavily decorated." The girl giggled with wonder as she spun in a circle to look at the decorations. The moon fair symbolizes a refresh to our society so we can continue to live the magical lives that we are entitled to." Entitled? "As my daughter has chosen you as her guard for this evening, I trust you for this evening." Why is that in italics? "I trust you will keep my daughter safe." The emphasis on his words was direct. Skylar was granted permission for this night only. Okay. Not that he wanted to spend any more of his time here, that was for certain. "Father, you're acting as if something can go seriously wrong. We both know the rites are harmless." "Not harmless. Everything could go wrong." "Many of my requisitioned drafts? I think that's drafts, like beer drafts? Droughts? Draughts. All right, time to look up another word. Droughts. Draughts? Sounds like drafts. Okay.
Drafts.
Okay. But what does it mean? A game for 2 players with 12 pieces each. That doesn't seem right. In Old English. Or drag? So like documents? A drink? That's what this one says. A swig or serving of a drink, the act of pulling a heavy load, and the death of a ship. Depth of a ship below the surface of water. I'm gonna go with drink because the way that it sounds. Because he makes potions. So many of my requisitioned drafts are specifically designed to keep not only you, but the moonflower safe during the proceedings. Yeah, in the title screen, the moonflower was also inside like a potion bottle, so I'm pretty sure it's like a potion. With good fortune, most will not be needed.
My princess, I know you've been full of worry. Being named Moonseer is such a dreadful burden to have been thrust on you, but I am sure you will make me very proud.
Olivia pushed his words away. All will go as planned, just as I've studied it. She's putting on a brave face, but I can see how nervous she really is for this big responsibility. King Aemon locked eyes with Skylar.
Moonseer is a dangerous role. See that what happened to the last one does not happen again.
Oh, was that her mom? Father! Respond or ignore? Ooh. What do we think? Anybody? I know there's probably only like 1 or 2 people watching. I expected this. This game is not very popular from what I understand, but I like it so far and I want to see where it goes. So I'm playing it on my stream. Respond? Okay. Corgi says respond. How about Dad? Are we gonna fucking bitch slap the king with our words? Respond, okay. Skylar's tail twitched in irritation. With all due respect. Sorry, I'm trying to find a cuddle therapist. Oh yeah, there's like, I saw a site one time, or well, I saw a video like on Vice or something that was about like people who offer cuddles or like a cuddling partner kind of thing. And there's like a site you can go to where like you can find them in your area. I was always too anxious to try it out, but like it looks cool. Good luck. I hope you can find one. Yeah, I found a good site. Okay. Oh, good luck. That seems very nice. With all due respect to your position, Your Majesty, the last Moonseer passed before you were even born. Her role as Moonseer bears absolutely no relevance to her death. Oh, shit. There you go. Although that death was likely orchestrated in an attempt to replace her as Moonseer. The king snarled at the Felioness, his trap taken.
My, such aggression from one of my own lords, and I am to trust my most precious possession to one who would have such a brutish response to a simple concern.
Ika? The face of the young princess was etched with worry. See, I knew we should have ignored him. We should have ignored him, guys. I need physical affection. I'm dying inside. Ah, yeah. I feel that. Yeah, I hope you can find someone quickly so that you don't have to die inside anymore. I hope it's nice. The face of the young princess was etched with worry. Her typically placid Felioness had never spoken back to the king before. Oh, dang. The princess stepped forward to reach out to him. The death of the previous Moonseer, his mother. It was Skylar's mom, I think. That's why. LOL, me too, yeah. Was not a topic he enjoyed, even less so when spoken of by the elites of the palace. So I had the idea that the Moonseer before was Olivia's mom, but I guess not. It was Skylar's mom was the Moonseer before. It was a story that changed the lives of his family forever, a story with far-reaching consequences by short-sighted fools. Calm yourself, he baits you, he always baits you. If it pleases His Majesty, I would take my leave and allow you to enjoy the opening ceremony with your beloved daughter.
It does. You are dismissed, High Alchemist. I thank you for your service tonight.
Skylar smiled and bowed once more to the royals before turning on his heel to leave. The devastated face of the princess burned itself into his mind as the Felioness alchemist, that's hard to say, Felinus Alchemist exited the ballroom with a determination rarely seen from him, stopping only to briefly whisper an instruction to not let her out of sight to the young knight Wesley as he stormed past him. The cool night breeze helped calm Skylar's nerves as he leant against a stone pillar of the courtyard. The courtyard was deserted, which suited him perfectly after the stifling atmosphere in the ballroom. He could hear laughter coming from inside, some sort of joke being shared between those enjoying the evening festivities. Absolute fool of a Felinus, he will not quickly forgive such a show of defiance. You were already barely tolerated with the queen present, even less without now. Skylar closed his eyes and pinched the bridge of his nose. An apprehensive tension claimed Skylar's body as the sound of approaching footsteps reached his keen eyes. More company. Wonderful. He took a deep breath, focusing on the sound. Their steps were careful and light, but not exactly stealthy. Not Olivia. Good. But who then? Emerging from the stone doors was a tall, raven-haired elf. Oh, not at all who Skylar had expected to appear. You! The man offered a kind smile, his eyes shining. Inside the ballroom, he had already captured Skylar's attention. Out here, steeped in moonlight, the stranger was almost ethereal. Moonlight suited most people, but he almost glowed. Is he glowing, chat? I think. Kind of glowing. A little bit. A little bit. It suits him. Oh, hello, Noah 123. 123X. Nice to see you tonight. The smile turned awkward as the man scratched his cheek and averted his gaze. I saw you leave. You looked quite distressed, so I... He met Skylar's eyes. I followed you. I do hope that is not out of line. Normally I would say it was, but in this case, Skylar shook his head. Your company is quite welcome. Despite being the capital palace of Ashmire, Fae-born are few and far between. Oh, Fae-born are few and far between. Skylar's eyes drifted back in the direction of the ballroom. A moment of peace settled on his heart as he recognized the songs being played within. Floraire. Oh, is that the name of the song? Bloom. Oh no, the name of the person and then the name of the song. Sorry, I needed water. This is a lot of talking. Skylar nodded. A sorrowful smile played on his lips as he listened to the tune floating from the ballroom. One of the only benefits to having superior hearing. If I'm correct, this particular composition is unique to the festival being held, isn't it? Indeed, although I find myself quite surprised you know of it. You could say this festival is quite the constant in my life. Interesting. He is familiar with it, yet what he said before would lead me to believe he was seeing it for the first time. Curious. You seem quite well versed yourself. Skylar lowered his eyes. The moon fair wasn't his favorite topic, and yet he felt this man genuinely cared for his opinion on it. This is not my first moon fair festival. You would have been quite young during the previous celebrations, would you have not? The man motioned with his hand as if measuring a child. I was, yes. Very curious. It's easy to forget just how much time can pass when time does little to affect you. Even so, you are correct. Compared to some of our brethren, I am still quite young. The stranger smiled knowingly, a smile quickly turning to sadness. You would have known the last moonseer, then. Felinus stared at the man, analyzing his face. He knew my mother. Looking away, his ears dropped, an exhaustion washing over him. I did indeed. Veronica Skylar, my namesake and mother. This song was one of her favorites, you know. Queen Olivia, her patron, had it commissioned many years ago just for her. The elven stranger nodded. Hers was a spirit that blazed brighter than the moon. Aw, the stranger closed the gap between them. They're getting closer! Ah! Okay, sorry, I had to freak out a little bit. You must miss her. I cannot even imagine. So much that I can't put it into words. The palace is a constant reminder of her loss, my father's downfall, never more present than now. Veronica Skylar, the first true moonseer, a Felinus woman who achieved a status unheard of before or since her. By Fae standards, she was a mere child, equivalent to a teenager in human development, but her resolution was strong. She won the favor of the then Princess Olivia, the future monarch who had established the official Moonfair Festival and the Moonseer Charter some 300 years ago. Dang. 300 years ago. Veronica was single-handedly responsible for the revitalization of a dying fable, an action that brought fear, jealousy, and mistrust to her, in equal amounts to the respect and admiration she had earned. Her life was cut devastatingly short by an alchemical disaster which destroyed a vast amount of the palace, killing many, including Queen Vera's uncle. Getting lost to memories past does no good for anything. To be honest, I fear for the princess. Perhaps it's just my own melancholy, but something doesn't feel right this night. I can't help but agree. He stared up at the moon, deep in thought. The stranger laughed, hand extended in front of him, beckoning Skylar to take it. It's as if he wishes to dance. Oh, chat! Chat, it's happening. Chat, please. What do we think? Take his hand? Question him. It's this one. It's this one. It's this one. You should choose this one. Why would you question, like, come on. Why would you question when a handsome stranger extends his hand to you as if wanting to dance? Like, if someone you think is attractive invites you to dance, like, are you gonna turn them down? I don't think so. You know you want to. Okay, fine, take his hand. Skylar reached out to accept the offered hand despite himself. This is silly. I did ask him myself earlier this evening. It would be rude not to accept now. Yeah, see? See? It would be rude, chat. It would be rude. Oh, look at them! They're so cute! Aww! A smile so joyous he almost vibrated overtook the handsome elf. A single swift movement swept Skylar into the immediate orbit of the taller man, the stranger placing Skylar's left hand on his shoulder, his own positioned just behind the felinus's shoulder blade. Interesting, the form of a waltz. Fitting for this music piece, I suppose. I hope I remember how. The man pulled Skylar close and intertwined their fingers. His hand was cool against Skylar's porcelain limb. How would he feel that? How does he feel? I mean, I guess he's moving his limb as normal, so he must be able to feel sensations and whatnot. Probably magic or something. Was this difficult to make? It's very beautiful. Transfixed, the stranger gently caressed the hand in his, running his middle finger tenderly down Skylar's wrist. Ooh. Gold veins threaded themselves, though, through otherwise perfectly smooth porcelain, almost glowing under the moonlight. What? The elf chuckled as he spun the felinus with the quickening tempo of the music. A warmth trickled through the golden vein where the other man had touched, down through his shoulder, making his spine tingle, an energy that felt familiar, but a sensation that caught him woefully off guard. What did he just do to me? Oh my god, it's happening, guys, it's happening. This is not a drill, it is happening. We have a little bit of BL happening right now. Yeah, okay. The elf gazed down at the felinus in his arms. The felinus, suddenly feeling rather flushed, averted his own eyes in return. Step after step, the two swayed, twirled, and circled each other, two strangers dancing outside under the shining stars, a world apart from those inside. Circling behind Skylar, the stranger playfully swiped at his tail. Aww. Hey! Felinus spun on his heel to face the offending elf, a sheepish grin on his face. Skylar shook his head. A peculiar elf wandering into a festival, one who won't even give his name, I will add, and that has now pulled the tail of the High Alchemist to the crown. Tail swishing happily, the two men circled each other once more, palm to palm, a silent challenge issued between the pair. So it's my name you want? Well, if you are truly so desperate, my name is... The two men looked towards the direction of the ballroom, startled by the interruption. What happened? Curse you. The king's speech, I would wager. Oh, the music, like, just stopped, I guess. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I didn't hear the sound effect that happened. Maybe there was, like, some kind of, like, tapping, or, like, some... You know when people are, like, a little... When they do the trumpets, I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but... It would appear so. Shall we? I would rather not, but I suppose we must. I must confess to being curious what this speech will be. Nothing more than a show of extravagance and far too much pressure placed on a young woman who simply wishes to heal the world of the injustices of the past. You are close to the princess. What is, if you could talk this much, just say your name, like pick up where you left off. What is she like, truly? I hear she holds the title of Moonseer, but... Skylar gestured to the stone door that would lead them back to the crowd. You have the right of it. Tasked with performing the rites, she has taken the burden of the title, but has never actually seen the moonflower. A shiver crept down Skylar's spine as his mind raced with the consequences of his troubled suspicions. He. Oh, the It took a second to load. I was like, what does tea mean? The pair quietly re-entered the ballroom, sneaking past several guards who gave them disapproving looks. Skylar was certain he saw his new friend respond by pulling childish faces at them. He chose to ignore the act, though, for his own sanity. The room was filled with people, and these were only the most notable of the what? Is it supposed to be dignitaries, or is it digitaries? The fuck is a digitary? I'm learning so many new words today. It's either a typo or it's meant to be like that and I just don't know this word. The preceding days would only get busier. They weren't even using the main ballroom as of yet. 100 or 200 people... Oh, it's a typo? Okay. 100 or 200 people were scattered around the smaller of the ballrooms, dresses sprawling into the free spaces around them, obscuring most of the floor space. Hushed whispers ripped through the crowd, excitement, impatience, curiosity. All eyes were forward on the king as he prepared to make his welcoming speech. The king cleared his throat and a loud shriek rang through the ballroom as his projection apparatus engaged. Oh, his projection so like a microphone. It went Bree! Curse that thing. Sometimes the ingenuity of Steamspire goes too far. The felinist flinched, desperately resisting the urge to cover his ears at the noise. An eerie silence fell in anticipation of the king's words.
Ah, here we are. Good, good. For a moment I had wondered if this gadget of Steamspire had failed.
He chuckled heartily and the crowd clapped at his joke. An attendant behind him shuffled awkwardly, his eyes trained to the visibly displeased Steamspire delegate. Oh. Relations are strained already, and yet he has to make jokes at their expense. Most likely user error. The man whispered under his breath, almost silent. Words meant only for the ears of the felinist beside him. Skylar struggled not to laugh at his commentary.
Welcome. Welcome to the Jewel of Ashmire, the most regal palace of our shining nation, my home.
A peacock, he cannot help but flaunt that which has landed in his lap.
Welcome to our most honored and anticipated festival, the Moonfair Festival. This will be the first time any in this room have had the delight of witnessing our esteemed event. I welcome you to be merry and revel in what I have arranged for you.
The king made a dramatic display of opening his arms out to the crowd, the jewels on his cloak tingling as they... Huh? Oh yeah, tingling. Tingling as they jostled. Like you personally have raised even a finger to arrange any of this. The king made several more declarations about the wonders and magnificent palace, the beauty of the palace, the talent at the palace this, the palace that. Each declaration was met with cheers and applause from the local nobility. Their favorite thing, after all, was to praise themselves. An event that only occurred on... An event that occurred once every century. Truly almost none in the room had ever seen it, and would never see the spectacle that was the Moonfair ever again. Those who had seen it felt very differently about the show that was being put on in front of them. They felt resentment, concern, and an inexplicable sadness at the absence of a previous Moonseer, a feeling that wasn't reflected in the nobility's smiling faces. For those that had been a part of the previous Moonfair, wanted nothing more than the moonflower to see the care it needed, to see it freed from the captivity it existed within.